Or good evening, folks. Not sure if that first one got through or not while the stream was kicking off. So anyway, gonna be doing some Master of Wills tonight, and have a buddy, another Master of Wills player who's going to be joining us. So yeah, really quick, I need to set up streaming voice activity here, so they'll be able to hear me better. Cool. We should be all good then. All good in the neighborhood. Moo? Dis! How are you, sir? What was it? Good to hear, man. Always better than the alternative, right? No, I thought about you earlier today. There was something that I was thinking about, and I was gonna comment and I was gonna tag you, and then I didn't get around to it because work got super busy. No, it wasn't Prodigal this time. It was yeah, it's Willie. I can't remember what it was now. Dang it, that's gonna kill me. I'm sure I'll think of it at like 3 o'clock tonight while I'm asleep, and I'll get online. I'll tag you and I'll let you know. Maybe, if I remember. Who knows? Oh, I don't know if we are or not. I was just thinking I could tag you in the Mo chat, but we should be Discord friends. So yeah, so Swilly and I are I think we are going to do some really friendly matches tonight and just walk through some tips and tricks on how to play for anybody who might be watching and curious about how Master of Wills plays and works and all that good stuff. So yeah. Looks like the restream chat is actually working tonight, so that's a good sign. There have been nights where it just died on me, so. It doesn't matter to me, Swilly. Were you gonna hop in voice chat? Sorry, I'm on the voice chat of my Discord server. That might be the easier way to do it. I think there is some sort of some voice chat on Twitch, but I've never bothered to use it. Sure. Hold on. Swilly. Oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. How do I invite you to a channel? Invite to server. Yeah, Swilly's here. Sorry, Steffi just messaged me to ask if I wanted to play. I can't hear Swilly. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Oh, I could have jumped in the Mo one too, but I've generally just done mine so that less interference that way in the past. So yeah. Steffi says good luck with our recording. Let me drop a note in. Doobie-doobie-doo. Got a couple other places I like to drop these links. Or waiting on Swilly to get that done. Oh. I saw Swilly's mic go active, but I can't hear him. Swilly's trying to talk. I can see that he's trying to talk. But for some reason I can't hear him. Let me make sure I've got my sound going out the right place. Should be good. Yeah. We'll switch over here. Hello, Queen. So, I don't know, buddy. Do you have... Try closing Discord and try running it in administrator mode. I've had that issue in the past. I don't know that they would do that conflicting with BlueStacks, but I used to have that problem all the time. Now I just have I have it set up to always start in administrative mode. Administrator mode. Although that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know that that makes complete sense, because typically when I have that issue, it's... I can't even get the push to talk to work, but you were getting that to work at least, so... That seems unlikely that that's the problem. The mics aren't muted or anything. Where'd my Discord chat go? If you hit the let's check button, does it pick anything up and play it back to you? Check one, two. Yeah. That seemed to work fine in my testing. Okay. See what you figure out. There are actually a couple people online right now. Or there were. It's always a good sign. So, if you're just tuning in, don't know about Masters of Wills, it is a game about asserting influence. There are 8 factions fighting over control of a city, and you are trying to gain control of the community. And at the end of 8 rounds, the player with the most control on their side of the board, as far as the point values that are on the cards, wins. So there's a lot of push and pull of trying to recruit people to your side. And sorry, trying to put on a little music in the background. And there are different factions that all take a different approach to doing that. In the online game, which we are playing right now. So somebody sent me a message. I have too many friends on my friend list. Way too many. 90% of these people I haven't seen in months. Probably need to clean it out a little bit. So somebody sent me a message. Oh, it was Willie. So in the online version, there are currently 4 factions that are available. Alpha Guard, Razor Core, which is misspelled and is supposed to be fixed. Shadow Cell, Dawnlight. So those 4 factions each take a different approach. In the physical game, there are actually 2 other factions that have been released, Cloud Echo and Edge Hunter. And the 7th faction is currently on Kickstarter at the moment, is Bloodcrown. So would obviously love to see that fund and be successful, because it looks like a really interesting faction for the game. It would play in just a completely different way than anything else we've seen so far. So I would encourage you, there should be a link in my bio. Feel free to go take a look at it and see what you think. It is going to be a very cool faction, but it's that red crown that's kind of at the bottom of the page right now in my streaming window. And then the 8th faction will be released later this year, Waterborne, which also seems really cool and interesting. So it'll be cool to see all 8 of them actually out in the wild. Eventually they will all make their way to the online version. They're just not quite there yet, as the online version is nice, but is kind of the second priority as far as the game goes right now. Is Willie having trouble with voice stuff? Oops. Looks like you're muted and deafened right now, Swilly. I mean, maybe you did that, but... trying to test and figure things out. Oh, you may be testing your mic in the thingamabobber.
Testing.
There you are.
Well, I guess it just didn't want to work on my computer, but it'll work through the phone, so we'll make it work.
You know, technology is great until it's not.
Get all this money for it.
Dissinger's gonna stream snipe us.
Of course.
So how goes, man?
You're breaking up though. It's me.
Oh, boo. Nah, Dis. You'd be good.
All right. We can do this now.
Yeah. Which new stuff, Dis? Just new cards that are online or new Blood Crown stuff?
I'm losing you some there. Keeps breaking out.
Boo! Could be. Yeah, this mic seems like it's positioned okay. You were a little staticky, but not bad.
Yeah, and I wish I could do push to talk through my phone, but if I'm be in the app, I can't go back and forth playing.
Oh, gotcha.
That's the only downside I have, unless I have another.
Another device or something.
Yep. Just keep adding to it.
Right. Just daisy chain everything, and
I think I do have another device.
oh no, I need to scroll all the way to the top of my friends list.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I could just choose these.
How many people do you have on your friends list, Willie?
Only 24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so. Too
I have like, hold on, let me open this back up. I'm almost at the top. I have 205. I need to clean it
Oh,
out.
yeah, only 200.
So what do you want to play?
What am I going to play as? I'll pull out Dawn Light.
Okay.
What else?
Just debating on what to play as far as a good example deck.
That's a good point. Yeah, let me cancel. I'll pull out the Alpha Guard deck then.
Yeah, I don't have a list of my
Yeah,
my
I'll just pull
cat's
out
going
the.
crazy in the background.
What's the default one?
Yeah, the new tutorial is nice, Dis. I think especially for people who don't have a grasp of the game, I think it walks people through much better than the old one did. Yeah. The only thing, and that's part of why Swilly and I are on tonight and trying to do some tutorial kind of stuff, is we realized the currently does not explain the starting location at all. We've seen some questions around that from some new folks. You know what? I'm just going to throw together... You're playing Dawn Light?
No, I'm gonna pull out Alpha Guard, the generic Alpha Guard deck.
Okay. I'll just do Shadow Cell. I think I can throw together the basic deck pretty easily even though it has absorption in it. It should. Most of the decks, unless you've unlocked things before you got the base deck, it keeps the cards in the order that you receive them in, I've noticed. Oh, Tis. Yes, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Cool. Okay, so I've got that started. So here we go. We're going to jump into a game of Swilly. You want to introduce yourself to folks? Yeah. Or say anything?
Oh yeah, hi, I'm Swilly, and I'm about to get beat probably.
I mean, I'm not going to show you what my starting hand is, but...
And I hate. Yeah, I'm doing my best not to look at your stream here. And,
Oh, you're good. This is all for fun and teaching moments, so. Disc can stream snipe all he wants. I drew both of my legendaries in my starting hand, so I kept them. Oh, so there is a small bug with the.
You want to mulligan those?
Yeah, I thought about it. I mean, Phantom Moon's a week. There is a with the new tutorials. If you do a friendly match, I've noticed that it pops up the stage 3 menu items. So we'll just kind of ignore those. For teaching, so at the beginning of this round, there was a -2 and an 11 drawn, so we flip those out, and that gets to determine who gets to pick first. So I got to pick first, so I'm going to pick Swilly, just because.
And so then from there, we'll both have to go back and forth picking picking a card from the center to play onto your side of the board. Each card has a starting location based on the little color band at the top of the card. Bronze starts in recruits, silver starts in loyalist, and then gold starts in the ally.
Yep, and we've actually got some examples of each of those out here, so you can see them pretty easily. So you've got this band at the top, but it also lists it on the card itself. We are playing a friendly match, so there's no timer in here, so we can take as long as we want, kind of explaining things. We'll try to step through like why we're making different decisions to help people understand that too.
And so for stars on this round, I could take the 11 there, the orange 11, which goes straight to my loyalist. I'd have to give up a blue towards CU's side because of that -1 on the 11. But then I get to move it to my loyalist. But it doesn't give me any other real benefit except for being worth points and then having a faction play on it with that little helmet card.
Yep. What do you mean this? But she no longer replaces? So she still does the same thing she has always done. She moves a card from loyalist to the neutral area and then takes 2 of your opponent's recruits and moves them to allies. But she was nerfed slightly that now you have to take the highest card from your loyalists instead of just getting to choose any card. Oh, yeah, sorry, Blackshade. Yeah. Yeah, Blackshade, she doesn't replace. She will remove anything on your opponent's side. And then if there's a blank one, she puts a black mirror down. So she was nerfed a little bit. She's still really strong early game, but not as strong late game.
And so I ended up making my first move, taking the blue 6, since that gave me the opportunity to take the orange 11 there, getting to move that +1 towards me. And then the little symbol on there that has a little guy in the trench coat on each card on the card. That's a community play card, so when those cards leave the center, that's why I get to play 1 community card towards the center in the neutral area per those items, and then 1 card to end the turn.
Yep. So yeah, so he took that because he didn't have to give me anything. And ignore the tutorial pop-ups that are showing up. But yeah, so he was able to take 17 points. He didn't have to give me anything. And because each of these cards had a community icon, that drew 2 cards, and then there's always 1 card at the end of each person's turn that gets drawn from the top of the community deck out here. One thing I would mention when you're playing online, your side of the board is always on the left, your opponent's side of the board is always on the right. So what I'm seeing, Swilly would actually see this opposite on his board. He would see the 6 over here, the 11 here, and then my side would be empty. So one of the things that some folks always tend to have questions about is the faction plays. So you've got this hand of cards. You draw 3 cards at the beginning of the game. You get to mulligan up to 2 of them to try to draw, better cards or better combos to be able to play things. The only way you get to play those is if you take a card. The first card you take out of the neutral area has this faction helmet symbol on it. I can't enlarge. I can enlarge this one. So this faction helmet symbol means if that's the first card you take out of the middle, then you get to draw a card from your deck and play a card from your hand. So there's some decent options for movement stuff out here for me. Generally in the game, the higher number typically has more negative movement that you're going to have to push stuff towards your opponent, where the lower number stuff and into the negatives is going to give you a lot of positive movement that you can pull things to your side. So a lot of times you're trying to find that good balance. I mean, yeah, you want faction cards because they're going to give you an option to play some of the cards from your hand and make big impacts on the game board. But you also don't want to push too much stuff to your opponent's side and be giving them a lot of points for that. So you're trying to find that good balance or things that you can kind of negate stuff. And as you see the game go on, you'll see that some of these negatives can be kind of offset by cards that are either already on your opponent's side that you can move around so you don't have to give them points, or cards on your side that you're not having to actually lose. You can kind of cushion some of that in. So the 7, unfortunately, I'd have to give him the 5, so that kind of negates any good bonus I'd get from taking the 7 and the 8. The 2 is good because I can take the 4, the 2, and that would allow me to take the 7, but there's no brown on the board right now. But because there's no brown on the board, I can just take this 4 and move that over. And then because of that +1, I'm going to be able to take this card here. And then there's no brown, so I don't have to give him anything. And that will give me the option to get a faction play. As the tutorial stuff is actually showing up and being accurate. So I drew 198, which is actually a pretty good card to use right now based on what's in the afterlife. One of the things you'll notice from a lot of these cards is they are not specific. When they say place a card in allies and the other in recruits, that means any allies or any recruits, so it doesn't necessarily have to be your side. So 198 is a good card to pull right now because I could give him the -2. The problem with 198 is you then get to kill a card on the board, but it can't match either of the drawn community cards. Swilly's side has an orange and a blue on it. The afterlife has an orange and a blue in it. So I could pull it, but then I wouldn't be able to kill anything on his side, so that's not a great option right now. You will notice as we go through kind of our faction decks, there are 4 different rarities of cards. These gold bordered ones are the strongest. With your epics being next, your neutrals being pretty good, and everybody has access to those neutrals no matter what faction they're in, and then your action cards are just kind of your typical kind of play stuff. Based on what I have in my hand right now, my best option is actually going to be playing one of my legendaries. So if you read Chained, he draws 4 community cards one at a time. After each draw, I can decide to either keep it on my side of the board or put it in the neutral area and kill a card on the board. Keep it on my side. Yeah, I could put it on your side of the board. So the 2 doesn't give me anything to kill. The 3 doesn't give me anything to kill. The 7's not bad. The 6, so I could, just for example's sake, we'll go ahead and put it out here, and you can see that I get the option then to kill a blue card on the board. So I'll kill his 6. And then, yeah, killed cards, as the tutorial is still showing me, gets placed in the afterlife. And then my turn is over, so 1 card got drawn to the neutral area, and it's Willie's.
And so, then moving on to mine, I'm going to go ahead and grab this purple 5 here and move that straight to my loyalist. And then I get to move 2, or movements of purple cards towards me, and I can actually split that up across cards to move more cards towards me. And then I can move, again, split up the negative movements of red of moving the cards towards his side, and I can either move lock in the 4 or split up across these different cards. For example, moving the 4 and the 8 into his loyalist. So I'm going to play a faction card that affects the whole game. That was actually a great draw.
Yeah, it was.
Called Special Delivery. And so these cards go into what's called the lasting effect rows there at the bottom of each of the 4 rows, the recruits and loyalist rows. And those cards stay there on the board until they're destroyed. And in this example, anytime an orange card finishes movement in my recruits row, it'll automatically move to the allies row, locking itself in for the remainder of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that was kind of a lucky good pull for him, as it matched something that was already in the row. But now it's something that I kind of have to avoid throughout the game, because if I, for instance, now on my turn, I could take this 8 to get a faction play and give him the 7, but because the 7 would end up here, then it would automatically move to his allies, and don't really want to do that. I also don't want to take this 7, because then it's got the -4, and I would have to, because these are in the neutral area and they're the only blues out there, I would have to give him 1 that goes to allies, and I'd have to give him the other one, so that'd be 13 points just to get a faction play. So my good move is kind of similar to what Swilly did on his first turn. I can just take the 6, which allows me the +1 orange to move this. I don't mind the -1 red to move my 4 up into the recruits. And then there was no green on the board, so I didn't get to do anything there. And then there were 2 community draws, and then the end of turn.
Not liking a whole lot being drawn out here.
Yeah. Special Delivery is one of those, it's a neutral card that I really want to like, but every time I play it, it just never works out for me. Yeah.
Well, there's not going to be another orange card drawn for the remainder of the game.
Right. What was it? I was playing a game earlier today, and somebody had a red lasting effect on their side, and we literally did not see a red card all game. Which is crazy to not see anything for the entire game, but
not left with much off. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this blue 7, which locks into my allies. So that's going to give him the 5 points, of course, but then I get to take the 13 off the board.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to lock in his 3 as well. Then no community cards, no faction cards that I get to play. So it goes back to him with just 1 flip card.
And the tutorial was, it's your last turn, and I'm like, what? No, it's round 3. So I have kind of some weird options. So I don't mind in this case. I mean, looking at the board, I can take the 7s, which just go to loyalists. It's the Honorable Senator card, which is kind of a nice final play move of the game. If you're already winning, it's your last turn, and you have second position, then you can just take that and move it to your side and end the game without punishing somebody. If I were to take the 9, I mean, I can offset some of the movement and just move this. But I can also do some interesting kind of plays here. And I think what we're going to do, there are no blacks out here, so I can take this person, as I have learned, the 8 brown is has neither gender assigned to it, so it doesn't work for either the bishop or virgin strike cards. So I'll just call the Deacon of Shadows a person. These tutorial things keep popping up, and it's true. Now, again, I have 198 in my hand, which lets me draw 2 cards from the Afterlife, which are going to be random, and then I'll be able to kill something on his side that doesn't match. So he has a big juicy 13 out there that I can probably get rid of. And I avoided drawing the -2. So the easy thing here is typically you're going to hold on to the big card and put that in your allies. Put the smaller one in your recruits. Then I get the option of cards that don't match those colors, which is why these oranges and blues are not highlighted. And obviously, it's a pretty good idea to kill the biggest thing on this side. And I think now is a good time to kind of point out, you may look at the scores and go, wow, I'm really running away with this. But this is a game that's very big on swings. So the game can easily turn around in 2-3 rounds with no problem, and all of a sudden somebody else will be in a huge lead when they were way behind earlier.
Not left with much still. This isn't good.
Yeah, the 3 is pretty good for you. The brown 3.
They gotta give you that 9.
Yeah.
To lock it in.
But you get to swing the 8 over, so that's pretty good.
That's probably the move I'm leaning towards too. I was looking at that, or just grabbing the 6 brown.
Right.
Bring the 7 over, which locks that in.
Right. That's true. Other than you either have to bank the 8 or give me the 3. You're right. And I would say,
See if we can get lucky with a faction play, maybe.
Right.
We'll get lucky.
And that's one thing with this game, that a lot of people kind of don't pick up on the first couple of times they might be playing, but eventually it kind of sets in and they realize that, that may... Sometimes you're going to take a play and your opponent's going to be looking at it going, why in the world would you have done that? And that's to set something up in 2 or 3 turns that you can really take advantage of. Community Guardian's fun, and you're going to get some big points off of that. So in case you didn't get to see that at home, folks, Community Guardian, you draw 2 random cards to your recruits. And then you get to move all of one of those communities that's in the neutral area to your recruits. He drew a red and a brown. He could have taken the brown to get the 6, but there were 3 red 7s out there. So he got 21 points off of that movement, and then the 2 cards he drew, 28, 31 points off of that card. That's one of the higher score values I've seen for Community Guardian. Except for when the AI plays it, because it always seems to... Or not Community Guardian.
Off of that.
Yeah. AI doesn't have Community Guardian. AI has a Community Marauder, which is just brutal sometimes. So 3 points isn't much, but it gives me a faction play. The 5 points really gives me nothing and actually forces me to weaken my position by either moving his cards back or moving mine up, and I don't really want to do that. But actually, this seems like a decent play. So I can take the 8. Again, it has the gold band at the top, so it's going to go straight to my allies. I get to take the 5 out of the neutral area. Then all I have to do is just give him the 2. So not a great play, but gives me some decent points to work with.
No-brainer play, so I'll go ahead and grab the 5 just on the field. Just go ahead and lock in one of those and move the other one up and take the 6 out play. And here's a fun one. Let's get my card back. So I get to bring one card of my choice back from the afterlife.
You want the negative 2, right?
I could put the negative 2 and put it in your side.
This is true.
But I'd rather just get the 13, get my Inquisitor back.
Yep. So yeah, the Last Rites is a pretty nice card. If there are any big cards in the afterlife, you can snag those. So here's a good time, and I'll take this movement just to kind of show it off. If they're ever at the beginning of somebody's turn, they always have to have 3 cards in the neutral area to choose from. So if I take this 2, this might not normally be the move I'd take, but that's fine for an example here. If I take the 2, I get that has a draw icon, but I have to do +2 gray, and there's only 1 gray on the board. I can take the black out of the neutral area. I can take the blue out of the neutral area. There's only 1 draw on the card, so we get that 1 draw. But then Swilly's going to get 2 cards drawn at the beginning of his turn. There's the end of turn, and then the 1 extra to make 3 at the beginning of his turn.
Real tempting.
I mean, you only have to give me 4 points for it. And you get, I mean, it's a net 15 points by the movement.
Yeah.
So one thing that new people, and one person in particular I had a conversation with a long time ago, a lot of times in the community we talk about, if you can swing a card across the neutral area, it's worth double. And one person thought that literally meant that it doubled the value of the card. And it was like, no, that's not what that means. It just means your opponent loses those points and you gain those points. So all of a sudden it's worth twice as much.
I give you the 2.
Yep.
My side will take the 6 out.
Yeah, definitely a good trade-off.
Hoping to get a legendary on my side, but we'll just keep going with the action play.
I mean, you get what you get, so.
And so this lets me get to kill 1 loyalist on either side of the board, because it doesn't say it has to be my loyalist. So of course I'm going to knock out one of his 8s here, and move my 13 up into loyalist to lock it in a little farther.
Oh, you would do something like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't play well when we do a ranked match, but we're doing friendly where there's no stakes. And
Right. Speaking of which, I still need to set up my tournament match with Schnauzer Mom. So one of the fun things, kind of mentioned earlier, that a lot of times that the lower value cards have a lot of positive movement on them, which can really impact the game without, I think a lot of new people don't realize just how strong some of that stuff can be. So if I take this 1, he's only worth 1 point by himself. So the score, I mean, if you look at it now, is 84 to 112. I don't know exactly where this is going to put it, but it's going to be really close. 51 point Cobalt. Very nice, Dis. So if I move this one over here, it goes directly to my allies. And now I get to move brown 3 spaces. So I can swing the 8 across. So that's 16 points. And then I can take the 7 out. So that's 23, plus the one I had is 24 points. So now it's a 4-point game where it was much more, and all I did was take a 1-point card. And we can talk about how some of the cards kind of combo together really well. And I can tell you a little bit later about a combination that I had against one of the other players in a game the other day, which was still just kind of blows my mind and how it all worked out. But yes, absolutely does.
I may not get a chance to play this on the next round, so we'll see how this plays out.
Nice. You're gonna get a red and a brown. Oh, you got a gray. Yeah. All right, I forgot she draws 4 now.
Yeah.
So,
Would have liked the red or brown. That'd be great.
Right. For those playing along at home, Mystic Imager draws 4 community cards, which go to Loyalists. So he got the 4, the 6, the 5, and the 4. And then if it matches the colors of anything in his recruits row, those recruits automatically move to allies. So it's can be a very nice combo to be able to move a lot of things and get them to safety. Fortunately, he hit 2 oranges, which he already has an orange special delivery in that row, so didn't hit too much, but he did get that 4, so that's helpful. So this is one of those times when it's kind of frustrating. Like, the faction plays that are out here, I would have to take and give him quite a few points for it. I mean, if I were to take this 6, I either have to move this 3 across, or I have to give him this 6. And I say the 3 because I'm definitely not going to give him the 6. But if I give him my 3, then that's 6 points. Or if I give him the 6 from the neutral, that's 6 points. So I get nothing but a faction play out of that movement. If I take the 12, the only black card on the board is that 8. And so I would actually end up giving him more points than I get if I take the 12. So, and the unfortunate thing is, on his turn, he doesn't have that same dilemma because the 8's already on my side. He can take it. The 2's, the 3 is here, so he can give me that pretty easily too, and he can lock that stuff.
Move his blue out.
Yep. So, one of my best options right now just seems to be to take this 5.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you get into, you're playing a little chess with your opponent and trying to make sure that you're not leaving things out there that they can punish you with, and take different things from you. Trying to get in their mind and figure out exactly what they've got going on and what they're going for.
I have a real easy play here, so I'm going to grab this green 6 that just popped up. So I have to do -2 orange, but here, that makes me happy to move those back. And then I could move his 8 brown back to the neutral, but then that could open up another card for him to choose from, even though he may not take it. I don't want him to have another faction play to look at. I want to try and limit that. And I'll just move his 8 forward.
So he locked in some points. He gets a faction play.
And then we'll do this.
Oh, and he'll just steal my 12.
We'll grab an ally. Yeah. And swing that to a quick little 24-point change. So now that leaves him with just the one faction card, where if he wants to take that faction play, he's going to have to give up some points. Of either nullifying it and just get the faction card, hope it helps him.
Yeah, I got kind of nothing I can do here.
Faction play would give him the point. Faction play would be the one thing that could give him points to change the game.
Right. So it seems like, I mean, we'll go ahead and take the faction play just to see what we get. My other options would be to take this 5. I could swing a 7 across. I could take the 13 out, but swinging the 7 is actually worth 14. So that'd be 19 with the 5, and then I could take the 6. So that'd be 25 points, which would put me well shy of what I need to win. Nothing else gets nearly as many points as that does. This would be 7, 9, 14, 20. So I can take the 6. I'll give him the 3, just because I don't want to give him a 6.
Principle of the matter.
Yep. And so now we can do some math to see what our best play is, but our chances of winning are really slim. I basically need a 47-point faction play here, and board's just not set up for it right now. Could do absorption, which gets me 26 points, because that allows me to basically take the values of 2 of the cards on his side and add them to 1 card on my side. Really good, really powerful card, but it doesn't offer any sort of protection, so you run the risk of, like, he had Allied Soldier. If I had played that card earlier in the game, then he could have just taken the big card on my side and banked it, and I would have been crying for days. Phantom Moon would cause me to lose 8 points, but then I would be able to swing 28 points by taking the two of these 7s over this side, so that'd be a 20-point play. So that's actually less than absorption right now. Or we can just go for a gamble and see what happens with the Killing Spree.
Yeah, Killing Spree might get lucky because we
can see. There's no way it's enough.
Gray.
I can't get 47, so. I mean, a black, I get to kill my own 8. No. Purple, so I'll kill your 5. And your 4. So I got 9 points out of that Killing Spree. So there were better plays, but those gamble cards, that's just kind of the way they work out. Sometimes they work out great and you pull exactly what you need, and other times you have to kill your own cards. Because that's what happens. Yeah, that's
good game.
Yeah, good games, Willie. Good example of kind of some of the cards, and so that's what's interesting about. I've tried to build an Alpha Guard deck that's basically just like protection and get as much stuff as you can into allies, and it just never works out. Like I've tried using like Special Delivery with Vapor and with other cards that put stuff there, and then obviously using Mystic Imager, and it just, I don't know. I get a lot of cards on my side and then can't protect any of them, and then people just steal them all.
And I found my favorite combo probably still in the game is doing a messenger into a Gabriel, or Gabriel into messenger, depending on how you want to play them together.
Oh, yeah.
And just, cause I think I did that to you, I think, during our last tournament, of just loading up your recruits and getting things out of my recruits or protecting them.
Yep.
And that just plays out well, can be a real big point play. It also hurt you a lot. There's a bunch of negatives.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, some of that random stuff hurts, but yeah, if you look at the balance of things, or not the balance, the probability of things is what I was trying to say. You know, Vij, for those who aren't familiar, is the creator of the game, and a lot of times he kind of describes things as, you know, you're mitigating some of the randomness to try to set things up in your favor when it comes to some of those random cards. You know, so for Messenger, it's like you're trying to do exactly that. You're trying to put a lot of recruits on your opponent's side and keep your recruits kind of empty, and that negates some of the backfiring possibility of it. just to show people a little bit. So in your profile history, you can kind of go through and you can see exactly how the game tracked along. At the end of each round, kind of what the scores were and where things stood. So you can see here where Swilly managed to kind of come back. Like I said early on, it seemed like I was kind of running away with it, but eventually, where I was up at one point by 43 points, he ended up winning by 38. So, it's always possible to come back. The game is full of big swings like that. It's pretty interesting to go back and look at some of that stuff. But yeah, this was one. Do you have do you have my stream loaded right now, Swilly? Because there was an interesting game that I played the other day and it just goes into how you can combo some cards together. I had played in the first round Imitator, which, for those who aren't familiar, allows you to use your recruits row to kill things in your opponent's recruits row, but it can only kill things if it matches the color or the number of what they are. In round 6, my opponent played Escape Plan. I still had Imitator out, so when I took my turn and pulled the card that I wanted to pull, Escape Plan, what it does is it changes every card on the board to gray. So all of a sudden, my recruits row could kill absolutely everything in his recruits row because all of the cards were gray. So I used the Escape Plan against him, kind of unintentionally, but I had a thought that might be the card that he had played, and was able to clear out everything except a 2 that was in his recruits. And then because I had killed everything in that turn, then I also got a faction play, and I played 198 and killed a 14 on his side that was gray. And then on the next turn, I was able to play Provocateur because everything that was in the Afterlife was still gray. And Provocateur brought back 49 points from the Afterlife for me. So you can kind of see in that game, again, it was a game where I was trailing pretty decently throughout the game, managed to just get ahead in round 7, and then in round 8, managed to win by 32 points. So, never lose hope. Any other things you want to show off, Swilly, or show some of the other factions or anything?
Nothing else I can think of right now. If you want yourself a good laugh real quick, go look at your match history from December 21st.
My match history? Oh, it was...
Yeah.
Wait, can I see that far back? Probably not. I play a lot.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Nah, I can only get back to January 17th.
That's right, you play a lot more than I do.
That's one of those ones where you swung it at one point and then just took it away from me and beat me by 118 points.
Yeah. Some of this happened.
102 to 221.
Oh, jeez.
Still a big point match.
What happened in that game? I don't know. I wish I could see that right now.
Let me go back and pull it real quick. It was a... he had a good he played an Inventor. Poison didn't do much, but I think it was this is an example of a bad messenger for me.
Oh.
And then a good trench coat for you. Because your trench coat pulled the Exalted Paragon.
Right. Man, Trenchcoat and Blackshade, yeah, and the game has lots of combos that aren't necessarily kind of, the game, I wouldn't say is built around some of that, but there are some combos that kind of exist in the game that can be pretty devastating. Blackshade plus Trenchcoat.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had a double Black Mirror on me because you played Blackshade in round 1.
Yep. And so that's the thing. Like, if you can get that out and then you play Trenchcoat, even if you don't hit the color of the Trenchcoat, if you hit the color of the mirror, you're going to get the card. You actually, in that case, you want to hope that you don't draw a color of one of your mirrors, because that just increases your chances of getting more cards off your opponent. sometimes it can be devastating. But I've played recently. I've played a couple games against Hussar lately and had both Black Mirrors down, played Trenchcoat, did not get a single card from the Trenchcoat from his side, didn't get a single card from any of the Black Mirrors, so the only thing I ended up getting out of it was a card out of the neutral area. And it's like, with 10 or 12 cards on my opponent's side of the board, so, you know, the probability was pretty high that I should have gotten some stuff, and it just didn't work out. But that's some of those gamble cards that just happens that way. So, yeah.
I think.
So that's a good example game that kind of helps people understand, you know, some of the movements and what we're looking at and those sorts of things, without going too in depth on some of the higher level strategy of some things, at least.
That's all I have really right now. Of course, can't think of a whole lot else. It's one of those you keep playing and finding those little nuances that work for you of your play style.
Oh, just to use that escape plan example from earlier, like, I'd never even considered how that would work out before, and it was one of those, like, I was trying to figure out which faction card to take out of the middle because I had two good options, and I chose one, or if I'd chosen the other one, it actually would have ended up being better because it had a plus gray, but I chose one, and then as everything started going gray, that's when it dawned on me that meant that my imitator could kill everything on his side of the board, pretty much, you know. And sometimes it's like that kind of stuff happens. You can't really plan around it because you can't say, oh, my opponent's going to do this, but sometimes you can realize it in the middle of things and take some real advantage of that kind of stuff. Cool. Let me see if anybody... it's not a super busy night, but there are a couple of people kind of playing the AI and stuff, it looks like.
I think with that, I'm going to have to hop off and get ready for another day tomorrow.
All right. Well, thanks for hopping on, man. And I will definitely see you online and in chat. For anybody who's tuning in, there's a very active Discord community that would love to have you on board if you'd love to go and chat about the game or learn more about it and just kind of hang out. Say hi to Swilly there.
Yep. Well, y'all have a good one.
Yep, you too, man. Alright. So, I'm not in voice chat anymore, so I don't need the headset on. That just helps a little with chatting with folks. So. Cool, let's see. Hey, Steffi. I always pronounce your name with the H, so just because it's fun. So yeah, Swilly and I were just talking about some stuff, played through a little newbie learning kind of game and explaining lots of things as we kind of stepped through what our choices and options and things were. Yeah, right? So now we'll see if we can get into some matches and have some fun. So I hopped on earlier today and Hussar was playing NCWC. And I sent NC a message and I said, beat him so I can be number one on the leaderboard again. And he did, and I was number one. And then apparently they played 3 more times and Hussar beat him in all 3. Although this one looks like some sort of disconnect or something. But I was like, darn it! I was on top again, briefly. Oh, let's see. What missions do I have? That's one of the things we didn't talk about. I mean, what Swilly and I kind of talked about is a lot of the stuff that transcends between both the physical and the online version of, you know, just how you move, how you make movements, what kind of plays you would make, what kind of things you need to consider as you're doing things. You know, and sometimes, like, gosh, there was a newer player that I was helping out a while ago who's in my ridiculously long friends list somewhere. And I was kind of explaining that, you know, sometimes it might seem like, you know, you've got a negative that's on your side. You can take a faction movement and get rid of that negative, and great, you get plus 2 points out of that. But if you put that -2 into the neutral area, and you've got the 13 gray on your side and the 12 blue on your side, then all I have to do is take that -2, and I get to swing 50 points across. And so it's like, you losing 2 points is not worth the 50 points that I'm going to be able to steal from you. So sometimes it's also realizing that you're trying to reduce what your opponent can do and what damage your opponent can do to you. And, you know, and that's some of that kind of stuff. Like, he was watching the stream that night, and I was able to walk him through that and helped him realize that. And, you know, and then he went on and he beat the AI in a couple of games and stuff. Although I haven't seen him around much since then, so who knows? But yeah, it's just trying to understand some of those things. Got so many people in my friends list. I don't want to get rid of any of them because they might come back. Let's see. But yeah, in the online version, because of the card collection stuff, there are some missions that help you collect some of the resources you need to be able to get your cards in your collection kind of growing. Credits you can use to buy packs you open to get cards. Excuse me. You know, so it's really a good idea. Currently, these are all daily missions. They're working on implementing some weekly ones that'll be a little harder and longer, but at least you'll have more time to be able to work on them. Because some of these, like Ebenezer Screwed, is it's hard to change 250 cards. You know, if you're playing against the AI, you can do it with a couple of cards that hit a whole bunch at once, but you're typically only going to hit like 10 to 12 with that card. So throughout a game, you might hit 15. So it takes you a long time to get through some of these. Move 400 cards. I have moved, I think, at most 35-ish cards in a game. So it takes you a while to move that many. So some of them are a little harder to do, but, you know, again, the rewards are kind of worth it too. But if you keep plugging away, at least at the lower level ones, you know, you can compile lots of credits and stuff to be able to get packs and open it up and grow your collection, and then be able to craft the decks that you want to craft and swap out some cards in your starter deck and make things where you want to, you know, kind of how you like it. I'm an example of somebody who loves to collect everything and play all the different factions, so I have lots of decks that are built. I typically have like 3 for each one. I just threw together the Shadow Cell starter for the example that Swilly and I just did. So I have 3 for each faction right now, along with, this one got moved out front because I changed something in it. But I also have, there's a tournament going on right now, so I built 2 decks for that one. So I have, 14 decks built right now? Some of them more crafted and more thought has been put into than others. But oh, and I've got my kill deck, because a lot of the missions revolve around killing a lot of cards. I don't have any of them right now. But if you have the cards for it, Dawnlight has some of the best kill stuff as far as being able to build a deck that's just focused on doing that, and helps me churn through some of those in AI matches and stuff to build up those things. Because if you get Iceman, you have to kill 200 cards, but you get 5 packs for it. So, but at 10 to 15 killed cards a game still takes you 15 to 20 matches to do it. So I had a random thought a while ago that I was going to go through, and I was going to name all of my decks after Harry Potter spells. So that's where some of the names come from. And then other ones I just kind of, depending on what the theme of the deck is, I tried to come up with a Harry Potter spell that kind of fit that. Other ones I've just taken like kind of what the theme of the deck is and just made some sort of Latin-ish sounding name out of it without officially going back to the Harry Potter encyclopedia to figure out what a good spell name would be. Because if we're honest, most Harry Potter spells are just Latin. Looks like there's somebody sitting in queue, so we'll hop on with my current favorite deck. I can show you a real example of a game. So this deck is really built around, has Suffocator in it, has Voiceless Sorrow in it. This is a new player, and I actually kind of like the start that I have here. A lot of times against new people that I haven't played against, I like to add them to my friends list. It was actually an idea that Tina shared with me a while ago, because I was like, I'm not going to throw a game against anybody, but at the same time, I'm not going to try to blow a new person out of the water, because I don't feel like that's a good idea. Uh-oh. Did they disconnect? I just saw them. Oh, no, they accepted my friend request. Derek Chris. I don't want to put somebody completely off the game, so I try to keep the games close without blowing them out. But at the same time, it's a ranked match, so I don't want to lose the ranking for it. So I was like, what do I do to do that? And Tina was like, well, why don't you just keep whatever you get in your starting hand? I was like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. Because I can usually manipulate things to be in a good position to win the game anyway. And then that still keeps it kind of competitive and close, so it's a good way to do it. Interesting. So I took that to take the 12 and the 5. It's not a bad idea. Alright, a lot of great options out here. Especially with these blacks, because these are going to negate the blacks. So we'll just take this. Yeah, if I take this, then I've got to bank the 8, so I only get 3 points out of it. If I take this, I've got to bank the 5 and give him the 8, so I only get 3 points out of it. This gives me 4 points total, so that's not a good option right now. This, I could take this and get 13. That might not be a bad choice. Or I can take this and get the faction play to go ahead and get Imitator on the board. I'd be down some points, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't want to bank the 5 necessarily. We'll hold on to the -1 for now. So I have a pretty decent starting hand based on what I can what I have. So Imitator allows me, I was explaining earlier, but if you weren't on the stream then, what Imitator allows you to do is it allows you to use your Recruit's Row to kill cards in your opponent's recruits row if it matches the color or the number of the card. So this 5 can kill a green or a 5 in my opponent's recruits. Imitator is a card that you get down early, and you can choose to activate it at the end of any round you want to. So you kind of, it's nice to get it down early, and then you can wait until you want to strike. The reason this is a good hand to work this with is Deep Cover allows me to randomly copy 2 cards in my recruits row. So again, gives me more stuff in my recruits that allows me to kill more stuff in my opponent's recruits. Breakout also will draw 3 cards out, which will allow me to put 2 cards in my recruits and 1 card in my opponent's recruits. So again, it gives me 2 cards that I can use to kill cards that are in my opponent's recruits. So these 3 cards together are a nice combo to be able to get things kind of moving in the direction that I want them to move in this game. And he drops Mystic Imager on turn 1. 2, I guess. Ooh, we got a negative. Ouch. 13, 20. I mean, he got 18 points out of it. He didn't get to bank this 7 because he didn't draw red, but I mean, the 8 and the 7 helped him out to kind of balance out getting the negative 2, so that's not a terrible start for him. Wow. Well, there are no blacks on the board. I don't mind banking these right now. Steffi, you need to yell at the team that Kitana should be able to be played when there are 3 cards that don't have that don't amount to 20. It's not a big deal. We'll go ahead and get Imitator out so we've got it for when we need it. If you've played the AI in the game, you will learn very early that 1, I think it cheats. But 2, no, what it really does, I mean, it does seem to draw some cards way more often than I do, but besides that, what it does is it always plays the best card that it has in its hand. So, regardless of what that is, it's going to play the card that's going to give it the most points. Which is why you see a lot of times with it, it is going to play a legendary on round 1 or round 2, because that's the card that's going to give it the most points. So you see it a lot of times. Yeah, it's just you cannot play Kitana if there are 3 cards on the board, even though it wouldn't break the rule because it doesn't have more than 20. And yes, it pretty much always does. Golly, I'm getting really bad choices right now for this. And if I go orange, green, black, I've got to move. Yeah, we're just going to do this. It's fine. Ooh, Rebecca's nice. Well, we'll go ahead and... I'd really like to get this out of here first. Maybe I can do that on the next turn. So it's going to move this back, drop the 2 out. I'm fine with that. Allied Soldier is a little scary because it could just take 22 points. Weird thing is it's I mean, it's round 3, and we each have 1 recruit. Kind of uncommon. We're waiting on him to try to figure out. Oh, kills my 7. But he's going to get something in his recruits. I'm okay with that. And it's a 7. I'm even more okay with that because my 5 can kill a 7. We're going to skip for now. Yeah, I think this is still my better play. Not exactly what I wanted there. But that's okay. This is just ugly right now. I don't know if I want a Rebexa because I could draw one of these and give him another draw. I don't want a deep cover. Guess we'll drop this. Ah! Seems to be going in the faction denial direction as far as this game goes right now. Yeah, but he can make a painless play of taking the 8. My choices have been pretty terrible. Right. At least that's only 3 points thanks to my devil's advocate. Oh, Oh my gosh. That was just ugly. It's okay. I'm only down by 44 points. Half of those points he got off of his stinking enticer just now. Oh, just brutal. So one of the things I don't like to do is just stack up a whole bunch of stuff on the -5, because then all a person has to do is remove it, and they get a whole bunch of points. Oh. Went the conservative play. Not what I would have done. Oh, boo. See ya, Steffi. Thanks. It's only 55 points so far. I think I'm okay right now, but we shall see. Oh. Purple hurts. Had a good plan until that dropped out. That's okay, I can do this. Can take this out. More kill possibilities. 5 is good. Now I can kill both of those. 4 still lets me kill that. 2 lets me kill that. Oh. I need that minimize button here. Let's go ahead and break out, see what we get. Two, three. That's okay. So 2 goes here, 3 goes here, 1 goes here. Yeah, it's a good imitator right now. I can't really pass it up. So this 5 lets me kill the 7. 4 lets me kill the 4. 2 lets me kill the 8. Fortunately, I have to kill the -1. There's no way to skip. But then I kill the 8 too. Let's see what they decide to do. I mean, they've played a legendary action and an epic. Or I've played an action, 2 neutrals, and an epic. I'm assuming he's debating this. You have to bank the 9. Probably move the 2 and the 4 back, or just bank the 2 and then take the 6. Does he take my 3 out or no? We're debating just some sort of movement? I don't know. Or did they disconnect? No, I still see him online. There we go. That's actually good. That's what I wanted him to take. But now he's got to move stuff back on mine, which is fine. He'll drop a 5, drop the 2. If good gray comes out, I'll take it. Interesting. There's no negative red on the board. There's no way for me to give that to him. Yeah, that would leave too many cards out, right? So there are 8 cards out here now. I don't have any way to take a faction and pull those off, so... I'm worried a little about like an allied soldier or something. So we can do this. Take the 9, 16, that worked out. Whew. That was closer than I wanted it to be. Alrighty. Anybody else? Ah! Star and I are tied again. Whew. So there are a bunch of people on. Looks like a bunch of people playing the AI. One couple is playing in the casual room, who I know are folks trying to get used to the game. I'm the only one not in a match right now, so. Now I'm confused. Doobie doobie doo. Ooh, Spooky Robinson. Do, 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 do. Sorry if anybody is hanging out, but I don't think they are. Not a lot of people on playing at the moment, or at least not playing in competitive mode. So just kind of waiting until I see somebody jump on who might do that. Again, a moment, if you are watching, be sure to hit that follow button. Every follower helps me just to keep doing this and hanging out and having fun and knowing people that are enjoying what I'm doing. Also, the Master Wheels Kickstarter is going on right now. There are 13 days left and over halfway to the target goal. So 1 week down, 2 weeks to go. On a good trajectory to make that. And hopefully keep it up and hit some of the stretch goals. That'd be pretty cool. So feel free to click the link down there to go over and check it out and see what it's all about. Blood Crown is going to be an awesome faction that I can't wait to play and test out. So, yeah. Alright, we'll play, yeah, real fast. Round effect, we'll just play this deck. Taking a long time to load the AI match. There we go. Oh, 198 mechanized bit. I like it. And it gives me round effects. Oh, I'm gonna go first. I'm probably gonna pay for it, but hey, we'll take this. Oh, what's the AI gonna do? Alright, so he took the machine of repair. What? To kill his 3. Interesting. Okay. I don't mind doing this. I can give him that. Drop this out. Blowback isn't ideal right now. I mean, it's a 7-point swing. We can get a little more out of it later. We'll go ahead and get Mechanized out so that we can do some card swapping later if we need to. Also completes my daily mission. So, yay! He's going to take the 12 out now. That's cool. Wait. So he takes Diabolus to take 8 points to give me 12. Okay. The AI is drunk. I mean, I know Diabolist is out now, so I don't have to worry about it. So my Loyalist is pretty free. He does have legendaries that can still hurt quite a bit. Well, Rebexa. we'll see what happens. The only card out here that draws another card is the 4. But I got the faction play out of the middle. He gets another one. If he takes that, he's got to give me the 2. Those darn strikes, I'll tell you what. Oh, get one with a draw. Maybe we'll get lucky. Said lucky, not crappy. We'll take this. Yep. Guess we'll take the 7. My Cloak and Dagger can steal the 8. Oof. Any greens in there? Is a green in there. Let's see. I mean, chances are good that I'm not going to draw a green. But because I said that, I probably will. I got a 4. Oh no! Woohoo! Ooh. Okay. We're giving you the -3. I'm taking the 4. Killing the 14. Yep. Told you there were legendaries that could hurt. Now he's finally got a lead. Jerk. Blowback doesn't do me much good. Infiltration, Yeah, we'll just do this. I mean, I can kill 9 points right now, but it's not huge. Do I want to mechanize? No, not yet. What I really need is to get that 14 up and have a green there. We're going to try to set up for the final round. We will see what happens. beautiful. No! Son of a gun. I do all that work. Skip for now. And this gives me 12, which is way more than anything else is going to give me right now. Breakout is helpful. So I can kill everything except the 6. I mean, blowback is going to get me... I could kill the 6. I'd get the 4. That's a 10 point. Let's go ahead and break out. Really? I'm trying to see if there's anything that helps me more than others. I mean, this gives me 5 points. And because they're all 5s, I can kill them. Go ahead and play the Mechanized to steal these big cards. Do I use it now? I may regret this. I may not. Depends on this faction play. Oof. Well, they go in their starting location. Can't kill the blue. I don't need to kill that many to win. Doesn't matter. I've got 3 4s to start with. Well, I need one of those 4s to kill a gray. I don't think it matters too much. I've got enough to kill it all anyway. Wah wah wah. There's no way to skip, so my 3s were gonna kill 3s. Or my 4s were gonna kill 4s. My 4 3s were going to kill, is what I was trying to say. And I get that 5. Now I get the other 4. 8 kills the 8. I can't do anything to the 6s or the 12. But hey, I won. Time for one more match. Oh. There was somebody in queue. I missed him. I took too long. We'll see if anybody jumps in real fast. I love watching the graphs. There was a dream. And I am trying to communicate with Bonacore about doing another Terraforming Mars stream. So we had some success doing that before, and I'm excited to see huh. So just hanging out in queue, trying to see if anybody is around to play. Doesn't seem anybody is in queue right now. We'll give it until 5-minute mark. We'll see what happens. Love one more match before bed. Come on, Q. Somebody play. We've been a bunch of people on tonight. They're just mostly all playing AI. A couple people that are debating backing the Kickstarter or playing each other. So that's good. I mean, I want them to figure out the game and see what's going on. So I definitely support that. And it just leaves me sitting here with nobody to play with. Hee hee. But that's okay. Hmm. 30 seconds. I'm surprised I won that game against the machine just now. It was not looking in my favor until the very end. That imitator combo worked out. Wasn't even really that much of a combo at that point. I just had enough cards in my recruits that I felt like they probably couldn't move them all out. Alrighty. Nobody around. At least nobody in queue. So I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for hanging out for a little bit. For however long you may have stuck around tonight. I appreciate the views. Be sure to hit that follow button or that like button. I'll be around doing some more of this and streaming some Terraforming Mars on some nights. Having some guests on some nights to play that with. Those sorts of things. Again, if you're curious about Master of Wills, go check out the Kickstarter that is live now for Blood Crown. There will be the 7th faction out. Really excited to see them come to the table. Eventually they will make it to the online game as well to complement the 4 core factions that we have right now. But yeah. Thanks. Have a good one.